Good morning everyone. A sparrow म्हणजेच मराठीतली चिमणी या फिर गुजराती में चकली या फिर हिंदी में गौरैया, चिरैया और चिड़िया in Hindi. Yes, we all have gathered here today to celebrate World Sparrow Day. A very warm welcome and good morning once again to one and all present here. I, Anuja Palkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Tilak Maharashtra Vidyapeeth, welcome you all today for today's event. As we proceed, I would like to mention that today's day cannot be celebrated without the mention of Dr. Salim Ali, who is referred to as Birdman of India, and also whose entire life was dedicated to birds, especially sparrows. While starting this event, I cannot stop myself from being nostalgic. You will all agree with me that all of us must have heard rhymes, songs, stories about sparrows since childhood. This tiny little being has always been a part of our daily life. It may be getting up early in the morning and watching and listening to the sound of sparrow sitting in the window, or singing the song by our granny, or telling stories about chiutai, kautai, and all this way. So if you see, this little bird has always been an integral part of our lives. I still remember, even while eating also, my grandmother always used to say, ek ghas chiucha. So this is how this bird is associated with us since childhood. There is another song, Ori Chiraiya by Swanan Kirkire, is another gem of a song where we can see how he or the lyricist has associated this song with the girl child. And today, this is the same situation with the sparrows also. The primary goal of the World Sparrow Day is to highlight the love of humans for sparrows. The day is also to encourage people to take small steps to make a big difference to sparrows. Sparrows are extremely important for the ecosystem. These small birds help in improving biodiversity and boosting plant growth in the ecosystem, further leading to healthier and greener environments. Sparrows consume and excrete seeds, leading to better spread of plant seeds, making the environment around us thrive. However, with time, the population of sparrows has significantly declined. This has had a negative impact on the ecosystem. It is time to create awareness about the significance of this little bird and what we can do to keep their population thriving. To proceed with the program, we will start this session with a documentary screening, In Company of Birds, director K. Prem Singh Verma. It is a biographical film on the world-renowned ornithologist Dr. Salim Moizuddin Abdul Ali, Dr. Salim Ali. Born in Bombay on 12th November 1896, Salim's interest in birds began when he shot a sparrow with his air gun at the age of 10. Later, he was introduced to the Bombay Natural History Society by his uncle. Salim Ali spent his lifetime in the company of birds. To his credit are many original contributions to the study of bird life in India. The great ornithologist and environmentalist Salim Ali has also penned many erudite and informative articles on this subject. This film shows Salim Ali in the autumn of his life in great company of birds. While watching the documentary, one thing definitely we all need to learn, not just from Dr. Salim Ali, but from the birds itself, that is passion, persistence, or especially for our budding media professionals, photographers, all what we need to learn is something that Dr. Salim Ali also did. Whenever he was shooting, or whenever, if you see the shots in the documentary, there was nothing as such, उनके पास shade था या फिर ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. He was still shooting in bright sunny daylight. So without any resources, how he became the Birdman of India, I think that's something we should definitely give a round of applause for him, for this particular passion that he carried. Going ahead, now I would like to invite Alok Katkar sir, but before that, we would like to showcase another documentary by our very own beloved Head of Department, Dr. Keshav Sathe sir. So I would like to play it.
मध्यंतरी सातारला गेलो होतो. हॉटेलची खिडकी सहज उघडली तर समोर 2-3 चिमण्या अगदी 2 फुटावर हरकून पाहत बसलो. खरं सांगतो, पहिल्यांदा मोर बघितला तेव्हाही एवढा आनंद झाला नव्हता. आता चिमणी हा पक्षी पुण्यात निदान आमच्या भागात तरी खूप दुर्मिळ झालाय. चिमणी ही आपली लहानपणापासूनची सखी आहे. आम्ही फलटणला राहत होतो पहिल्या मजल्यावर. इथं मोठं माळवत म्हणजे जिथं पाऊस कमी पडतो तिथं अशी घरं असतात. असंख्य चिमण्या तुरु तुरु चालत पुढ्यात यायच्या. टाकलेले दाणे पदार्थ ऐटीत टिपायच्या आणि भुर्र उडून जायच्या. चिमणी हा घरातलाच सदस्य आहे, आपल्या कुटुंबातलाच आहे, अशी भावना माझ्यासारख्या लाखो जणांची असेल. राखाडी भुरा रंग, प्रमाणबद्ध शरीर, इवलीशी चोच, टुकू पाहणारे डोळे, न घाबरता बिनधास्त पुढ्यात येऊन बसायच्या. पण हे चित्र गेल्या 10-15 वर्षात झपाट्यानं बदललंय. चिमण्या दिसेनाशा झाल्या, त्यांची जागा कबुतरांनी पारव्यांनी घेतली. आजही कोणी खेड्यात थोड्या दुर्गम भागात गेला आणि त्यांनी चिमणी पाहिली असं सांगितलं की मन त्या रम्य आठवणीनं भरून येतं. या चिमण्यानो परत फिरासारखं गाणं लागलं.
परत फिरा रे घराकडे आपुल्या.
किंवा बाळ जेवावं म्हणून एखादी आई हागा चिवचा असं म्हटलेलं ऐकलं की अधिकच गलबलून येतं. आपल्या आयुष्यातील अनेक जुन्या गोष्टी स्मरण रंजनाच्या कप्प्यात जाऊन बसल्यात, त्यातलीच ही पण. आणि हे दुःख आपल्या सर्वांचंच आहे. आपण हा चिमणी दिवस आता साजरा करायला लागलोय, त्यामागे हेतू चांगला नक्कीच आहे. पण त्यामुळं तिचं नसणं हे अधिक ठसठशीत होतं. अर्थात आपली कातडी आपणच टणक करून घेतली म्हणा. आज जागतिक चिमणी दिवस. त्यानिमित्त त्या भुर्र उडून गेलेल्या चिमण्यांना हे अर्पण.
सरांची डॉक्युमेंटरी जी बघितली आत्ता, किंवा त्याच्या आधीच डॉक्टर सलीम अलींवरची जी डॉक्युमेंटरी पाहिली, त्याच्यानंतर एक गोष्ट थोडी वेगळ्या पद्धतीने नक्की आठवते. माझ्या मते आत्ताच्या पिढीला रजनीकांत हा ॲक्टर सगळ्यांना आवडतो. त्यांनी काही वर्षांपूर्वी रोबोट 2.0 हा जो एक सिनेमा आला होता, त्याच्यामध्ये अक्षय कुमारनी जो रोल केला होता तो हाच केला होता की वेगळे वेगळे पक्षी किंवा सगळे पक्षी कसे मरत चाललेले आहेत किंवा त्यांची पद्धती, जीवनशैली कशी बदलत चालली आहे. बिकॉज आपल्या इथले जे टॉवर्स किंवा आपल्या इथले मोबाईल टॉवर्स वगैरे जे आपण उभारत चाललेलो आहोत, किंवा शहरीकरणाच्या नादामध्ये आपण काही गोष्टी विसरत चाललेले आहोत. पक्ष्यांना, प्राण्यांना त्यांच्या जागा आपण घेतो आहोत, असं झालेलं आहे. सो आत्ता जे सरांच्या आवाजात जे ऐकलं ते कुठे ना कुठेतरी ते पण आम्हाला लक्षात येतं आणि ते आठवतं. Going forward with the program, now I would like to invite Assistant Professor Mr. Alok Katkar. He has a certification in ornithology from Bombay Natural History Society, and currently he is a member of BNHS. A decade of experience he has in bird watching and bird photography, and has photographed more than 250 bird species to date. So now I would like to request Alok Katkar sir to please talk on sparrows in our world.
So initially, before standing here, I thought that I would talk about sparrows, but rather I think I would go ahead with sharing what I have learned in the 10 years I have spent in field as a bird watcher and as a bird photographer. Initially for me, bird watching started just as a hobby. Slowly I took it ahead with actually photographing the individuals. And after developing a certain interest in it, you have seen about BNHS. Dr. Salim Ali was a member of it. He was a president. I went for a certification in ornithology. So when I was looking at the documentary, I connected the part where Salim Ali was tagging the bird with the metal band. I was fortunate enough to tag a brown-headed gull at Navi Mumbai. And during all these times, transitioning from bird watcher to being a bird photography, I visited several destinations across India, several across the Pune as well. And these 10 years, I have seen certain habitats getting outrightly destroyed in front of my eyes. A place like Sinhagad, which was once famous for the migratory birds and the birds who come from Himalaya side in winters, is currently almost destroyed, where you rarely see a bird now. Area Hills, I think Satisar is here, or anyone who is in Pune from the long time will understand what Area Hills stands for in terms of biodiversity. Today, the same is happening over there. So it's not just the sparrows that are getting affected. It's the entire bird population that is now going through an entire crisis. To give you the idea of why India is, or where the India stands in terms of its biodiversity in birds, estimatedly there are 10,000 species that are recorded all over the world for the birds. This is the number. There are still, some are being newly named. Some people have thought they are extinct, just like we have seen in the documentary. They have thought extinct, but again they are reported. And India itself has nearly a species of 1377. So when we talk about India, we consider as an Indian subcontinent. So Salim Ali, after his book, the field book, which all of us bird watchers refer it as a Bible for the bird watching, there came another book by Richard Grimmett, who covered the areas like India, Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, the Indian subcontinent countries, and created a field book out of it. So 1377, when we say about species, is, for us it looks like a very small number. When I decided to photograph all of this, till now I have managed to go slightly above 250, and it's been 10 years. 10 years I am going into the field, and I have reached to the number of 250, more than that slightly. But you can imagine how much time it will take to cover all of those 1377. So India in that terms is extremely a good environment, or was once upon a time a good environment for the birds. Considering that, while going across the sparrows, we normally think that when we say sparrow, yet गौरैया जिसे हम लोग बोलते हैं, that is just one that we see in our surroundings. India, in fact, has or is a home to these 6 species, which we rarely know. First is the house sparrow, I think all of us know, ranging from it the russet sparrow, sin sparrow, Eurasian tree Spanish, that Spanish comes into the northern India, who is a winter migrant, and the yellow-throated sparrow. The one that we saw in Salim Ali's documentary, yellow-throated, or another name it has is a chestnut-shouldered petronia. This is the name, and this is it. Based on his experiences, Salim Ali wrote his autobiography, which is aptly named as The Fall of Sparrow. I think all of you have seen that his bird watching career triggered when he shot a bird. He went to BNHS, understood what species is this, and that's where his life took a major turn. So this bird that you are seeing on the left is a yellow-throated sparrow. I was lucky, rather, the first time I shot this bird, I thought that it's a normal sparrow. As soon as it turned and I saw that yellow patch, I felt extremely proud in a sense that I am photographing a bird which has triggered a career for the birdman of India. Now, talking about the sparrows, which we really know, the sparrow is the state bird of Delhi. So, any idea what is the state bird of Maharashtra? Yes, the yellow-footed green pigeon is a state bird of Maharashtra the similar way. House sparrow is a state bird of New Delhi. Sparrows currently have been associated with humans for nearly 10,000 years. It's that long. I mean, the longest record that has been found. The bird which we often refer in our childhood stories hardly weighs 40 to 50 grams, the adult bird, and with a very small size of nearly 5 to 6 inches. The one you are seeing on the right hand side, it's the sexual dimorphism in the bird. Left one is a male, the right one is a female, which can be clearly identified. And in the wild, this species just survives for 3 to 4 years, not more than that. That's their lifespan. Kept in a zoo or something, then that goes up to 9 to 10 years. Now, sparrows, considering they have spreaded across the world now, there is another image which will tell you what is the range of habitat this bird has gone to. This is in the background of Alps. So, from the urbanized area to the Alps and to the nesting in the cactus, this is how the sparrows have managed across the globe to increase their population by being extremely adaptive. जैसे कुछ birds होते, crows we have seen, they're extremely adaptive to the nature. The leopards, when we talk about animals, they're extremely adaptive. Pune में भी आते. But similarly, this is the case for the sparrows. Now talking about what are the threats, हमने common, we have heard the term that the towers से जो radiation होता है, that's impacting the sparrows. But that's not just the single reason why it's happening. So I'm going to touch down on 2 points. What are the threats that are currently there? And second, what on our part we can do to protect this population. Species, currently if we talk about the terms of nature, it's progressing extremely fast. Every year certain species gets extinct. We hardly know about it. And then after some time, maybe आज से next 2 generations में शायद फोटो दिखा के ये बोलना पड़े कि हमारे बचपन में ऐसा bird हुआ करता था, which we called a house sparrow. Now it's no more there in the world. So on our part, what best we can do. So before that, let's first understand what are the threats that are there to this particular species. First is very common, which is faced by all animals and birds. That is the rapid urbanization. जितना स्पीड से इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बढ़ रहा है, पॉपुलेशन बढ़ रही है, the overall habitats that are there are decreasing. अभी अपने रिसेंट देखा होगा न्यूज़ में कि जुन्नर में 3 लेपर्ड साथ में दिखे हैं एक घर के बाहर. रिसेंटली विमाननगर लोहगांव के यहाँ पे हाइना देखा गया रोड पे. कोथरूड में where I stay around 3 years back, ये आया था बाइसन, द इंडियन गॉड, जिससे ट्रैंक्विलाइज करके लेना पड़ा, and he died later on. So the animals are now, they are not encroaching. They are just trying to find their way. It's that simple. So that is the one problem. हमने बचपन से देखा है कि the sparrows make their nest in our houses. जैसे urbanization बढ़ता जा रहा है या फिर skyscrapers form होते जा रहे हैं, the spaces are getting cramped. So there also they are not getting the enough space for their nesting purposes. Generally, if we talk about how much they survive, so 25% of the sparrows, this is their survival rate before reaching their first year of age. Only 25% survive, rest do not survive. And averagely 40% of the adult sparrows dies every year. There are multiple reasons. Second is by predation. Generally house cats. Pets हम लोग रखते हैं, dogs, cats, we love them. But house cats all over the world are a major threat to the birds. From the sparrows to birds like a hummingbird. Then the birds that are naturally there in the food cycle, who are apex to the sparrows. Parasites and disease, that is another cause. आपने देखा होगा जैसे अभी कोरोना वायरस आ गया, इट इम्पैक्टेड अस. So there was a documentary of David Attenborough. I think all of you have heard of David Attenborough. So he has written a book, Life on Earth. As per him, there are millions of viruses still out in the animals which have a potential capacity to impact humans and which are worse than the coronavirus. And in coming years, it is a possibility that these viruses will break out again. So pandemic will be very casual for the human beings. So parasites and disease. In certain areas, the sparrows are considered as a pest. जैसे हम लोग घर में rats आते हैं ना, वही पकड़ के मारते हैं. Similarly, the sparrows are treated like that. So कई बार उनका trap होता है, पकड़ के as a pet दिखाया जाता है. In certain areas, they are also consumed as a food. So उनको मार के उनका meat भी consume किया जाता है. There is one image which I had got. This is how the eggs. अगर आपको कभी किसी भी nest में if you come across this kind of a patterns, that make sure that you preserve it. That is the best possible way. जो मैंने बोला कि the killings of the sparrows that happen. Second is food items. हम लोग जो consume कर रहे हैं, not necessary कि it is harmful for us, it is getting harmful for the birds as well. So species like vultures, they are suffering from renal failure and due to a medicine or a compound called as a diclofenac, जो usually use होता है to treat as a painkiller. But in them it is causing a massive renal failure और वहाँ से उनके number drop हो रहे हैं. Electromagnetic radiation, जो हमने अभी बोला था, basically they create a disturbance in the pulse of sparrows. कई बार electricity का current लग के भी they die. Then insect population, जो उनका एक food chain है, like every species across the world is dependent on its food. अगर वो फूड सोर्स ही खत्म हो जाता है तो ऊपर के कोई स्पीशीज सर्वाइव नहीं होंगे. इट्स सेम फॉर द ह्यूमन बींग्स. राधा हमने कोविड में वो थोड़ा सा एक्सपीरियंस किया भी है, हाउ दैट फील्स. स्पैरोज आर गोइंग थ्रू द सेम. उनके जो नेचुरल क्रॉप्स है जिनके वो दाने खाते हैं, दोज आर गेटिंग इन्फेक्टेड बाय पेस्टिसाइड्स. इंसेक्ट्स जो है वो उसमें चेंजेस आ रहे हैं, तो नेचुरली द स्पैरोज आर नॉट गेटिंग द फूड. एंड देन द हैबिटेट डिस्ट्रक्शन. जो सिटी में रहते हैं या न्यूज से अपडेटेड है, दे नो कि देयर इज वन प्लान ऑफ क्रिएटिंग अ डायरेक्ट रूट बिटवीन कोथरूड एंड एसबी रोड, सेनापति बापट रोड. उसमें एरिया हिल्स का डिस्ट्रक्शन किया जाएगा, मतलब तोड़ के, नॉट डिस्ट्रक्शन बट तोड़ के एक ब्रिज कंस्ट्रक्ट किया जाएगा. तो रैपिडली दिस वेजिटेशन दैट वाज इन द सिटीज और आउटस्कर्ट्स ऑफ इट इज गेटिंग डिस्ट्रॉयड. आप लोग कई सारे, अगर यहाँ पे कई लोग हैं जो भिगवण गए एज पार्ट ऑफ देयर फील्ड ट्रिप्स, आपने वहाँ के बर्ड डाइवर्सिटी देखा होगा, हाउ मच डाइवर्स दैट लैंड इज इन टर्म्स ऑफ बर्ड. बट वहाँ भी आप कॉमनली देखेंगे कि कहीं पे कोल्ड ड्रिंक की बॉटल पड़ी है, बिस्तरी की बॉटल पड़ी है, एंड द बर्ड्स आर जस्ट सिटिंग ऑन इट विदाउट अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट द प्लास्टिक इज कॉजिंग. These are the multiple problems that are faced by the sparrows, and this is the day today to at least first understand the issue and then from our end to consider what can be done best. So what are the ways? I'm not saying we can save the entire species. That's too big a statement to do. But on our part, what the small things we can do? The first is their habitat. So अगर घर में, as I show you the nest, अगर कहीं ऐसा space है, or the artificial wooden home, if you can prepare a bird nest, that's another good opportunity where they can nest together. Microhabitat एक बोला जाता है term, that is if the habitat is getting destroyed, the forest is getting destroyed, जिससे छोटे छोटे gardens होते हैं. अभी यहाँ पे भी है. If you see, अभी TMV आप कैंपस में घूमेंगे तो आपको एक shrill call बहुत बार सुनाई देगा, आवाज़. That is the call of Indian grey hornbill. काफ़ी दिखेंगे, especially near the hostel area you will see lots of hornbills. So these are some ways where you can first understand why this species matters and then you can protect it. Nest boxes and the bird feeders. छोटे छोटे bird feeders आते हैं जिसमें आप you can put the grains and the birds can utilize as their food source. ये कुछ छोटी चीज़ है. Larger scale, the controlling the overall pollution, population control, ये तो चीज़ें on a wide scale affect करेगी. But I believe for the today on World Sparrow Day, we should focus more on our level. At least one person is able to implement one of these solutions. We can contribute significantly to saving this species. Before coming to the time जब आगे ये बोलना पड़े फोटो दिखा के कि हाउस स्पैरो कभी हुआ करता था हमारे लिए. That's all. Thank you very much.
चिमणीची मोठेपणी ती झाली आता दिसेनाशी. आम्ही शोध घेतो तुझा दारोदार. आम्ही शोध घेतो तुझा दारोदार. चिवताईसाठी आज करू एक निर्धार. जागतिक चिमणी दिवस आज होतोय साजरा. त्या कमी झाल्यात म्हणून जीव झाला कावरा बावरा. तिच्या संवर्धनासाठी सर्व काही करू. तिच्या संवर्धनासाठी सर्व काही करू. आजपासून हे कार्य करा सुरू. रुसलेली चिवताई परत ये. चिवचिव ऐकवायला परत ये. चिवचिव ऐकवायला परत ये. Going forward, now I would like to request Rajendra Tilakar sir from Law Department to kindly present the poem on Sparrow, A Precious Wealth.
माझं नाव राजेंद्र टिळेकर. मी सिव्हिल इंजिनियर आहे, परंतु आता LLBला इथे ॲडमिशन घेतलेलं आहे. फर्स्ट इयरला आहे LLBला. तर पोएम करण्याचं पूर्वीपासून सवय आहे आणि 10 ते 15 मिनटात मी पोएम तयार करतो कुठल्याही ऑकेजनला किंवा काय असं. तर हे येता गाडीत मी पोएम तयार केलेली आहे. मी पोएम रीड करतो. त्याचा अर्थ समजून घ्या, शांतपणे ऐका. थोडासा आवाज माझा आज थोडा तब्येत हे नसल्यामुळे थोडा आवाज नीट नाही येणार, परंतु तुम्ही ऐकू शकता व्यवस्थित. पोएम ऑन स्पॅरो, अ प्रेशियस वेल्थ, हे त्याचं नाव आहे. चालू करतो आता मी. लेट अस सेलिब्रेट इफेक्टिव्हली वर्ल्ड स्पॅरो डे. लेट अस सेलिब्रेट इफेक्टिव्हली वर्ल्ड स्पॅरो डे. It's time for impactful, serious actions and pray. Let us bring back our loved one sparrow. Let us understand what is their real sorrow. By forgetting sparrow in our precious life, life will be like walking on a sharp knife. Let us take initiative of awareness. Sparrow will not forget our kindness. Let us save sparrow, initiate their growth in nature. Let us save sparrow, initiate their growth in nature. Understand importance, the greatest gift by Creator. Let us provide grain feeders for them and keep open windows and doors. Make a provision of water for drinking and bathing, especially in summer. Sparrow is one of Venus, holy animal as described in Roman mythology. So, Bible describes them as symbol of God's concern. Understand the ideology. We all have forgotten vital role of sparrow in food chain. Decrease in sparrow population affected production of grain. Bring government's attention on their survival in nature by showing some compensation. Bring back sparrow in our life, the most beautiful and of oldest wing campaign. It was our campaign, actually पहला हमारा campaign ही था. Let us provide nesting space for sparrow. God has always relief for every sorrow and plan for every tomorrow. Solution is bring back sparrow. Protection of ecosystem beneficial for our life, our health. Let us preserve sparrow as our most precious wealth. Thank you.
Now I would like to call upon Akash Zambhe. Going forward now with the write-up section, Dr. Mahesh Ranganath Randhave on the enchanting world of sparrows. Hemant Kulkarni. Okay, I suppose they are not present. So we will go forward with the artwork showcase of the slideshow that we have today. Sure. Priyanka from Applied Arts, Sadika Banu Sheikh from Applied Arts, Bhavesh Devaram Chaudhary from Pharmacy Department, Atharva Lohgaonkar from Management, and Shraddha Bangar from Nursing Department. We have Rachwinder from Fine Arts Department. We have Mahesh Pawar from Nursing Department. Then Ishita from Fine Arts Department. Anmol Preet from Fine Arts Department. Another artwork from Taranjeet Fine Arts and Meenu from Fine Arts Department. Then Jaskaran from Fine Arts Department and Lovepreet from again Fine Arts. Bhavna Sharma and Anjali Bansal from Fine Arts Department. Again we have Monica and Divakar from Fine Arts Department again. Jagriti and Rahul from Fine Arts Department. Rafia Begum and Isaac Kumar from Fine Arts Department. Kritika and Shalini from Fine Arts Department. Rinzin Dolma and Navneet Kaur from Fine Arts Department. Preeti and Monica Shripal from Fine Arts Department. Pramod again from Fine Arts Department. And initially, as we saw, another photograph from our very own Alok Katkar sir. To start with the slideshow, we saw the first picture by him. Going forward now, there is a presentation, hard copy artwork and write-up presentation by Mr. Mujibur Rahman Bipla. So I would like to request sir to please come up on stage and please present his write-up.
Hello. This is a very little real story from my life. It was in 2011 in Delhi. I was living in Delhi that time. And I was sitting in a seminar in a Max Muller Bhavan. So suddenly I got a call from a friend. She was a French person, was living in Delhi for a long time with her family, 2 children and husband. So she called me. I was very surprised why she is calling me right now. I don't know. And she asked me requested me to please come, Biplab. Well, my artist name is Biplab. So she called me, Biplab, come here and save the bird, baby bird we found. And then I went to her home and reached her home, and I found a small sparrow baby, which is just born, you know. And her beaks are a little bit yellow mark, which is actually, all the baby birds have these kind of marks. And Melanie was very cautious about the yellow part of the beak, because she thought it's a bit wounded or maybe it's dying. So I don't know, it's absolutely normal. So give it to me, I will take care. So I took it on my hand very carefully and within a cover with the soft clothes and came to my home. And I have a habit to feed open birds and taking care of the birds. Usually I do. So which is my hobby for a very, very long time. And then I luckily was not a full-time worker. So I was living alone. So it was very difficult to taking care of such a kind of, fragile life, which is very tiny and hopeless totally. And I thought, I was very lucky to being, part-time job holder. So I had plenty of time and to skip my work schedule, whatever. So taking care of the birds. And biggest problem I was facing to feed the bird, because the bird have, they found their natural, food. Their mother knows, their parents know their food, what kind of food they need. So I thought I did a little bit research on internet, then I find, and first I went to the pet shop where I could not find the special food for baby, especially for the sparrow, because they have food for the other birds like, macaw and parrots, but not for the sparrow. So I had to do some small research to find the solution. Then I find that definitely I did some kind of food which I was used to keep in the refrigerator for a day. But each time I feed the bird with a very little bit small syringe kind of thing, which is looks like a little bit of beak of a mother bird actually. So it is little bit of liquid food, and I was injecting little bit slowly to his mouth and cleaning every day, hitting the food and checking the temperature of the food. It is a big job actually. Every day you have to feed the bird for many times. Anyway, so it slowly became my very beautiful companion. And especially it was very curious whenever I was sitting on a computer and he's come to on my keyboard and he used to play on hopping on the keyboard right to left. And it's always sitting on my shoulder. And whenever I go, even the kitchen room, which is really difficult because I was cooking in the fire and maybe it will go to the stove. So I was very carefully, handling all these things every day. It was my daily life that the sparrow is with me everywhere, even I go to the shop. And then one day, a little bit month of later, Melanie called me, please come for a lunch and bring the bird along with. I said, okay, sure, I will show to bird. It's grown up a lot and lots of feather. And then I came to her house and introduced to her children who found the baby bird. And they have a cat, and it was just approaching to the baby bird to just, that consequence you have seen in the photograph. That was going to happen. But the children took this bird carefully, and that is they are the first hero to rescue the bird. And then I went to her house, and everybody was very happy, and the bird was not scared at all to him. And so they are always going to the shoulder of the children, and they are very curiously looking at. And then I found this is probably a female bird because of the color of the feather we can recognize. And Melanie proposed a name called Lily. So from that day, the birds had an official name called Lily. So Lily was happy to see the children. Well, that's the story. And then I came back home with it, and it stayed for a couple of months with me, because I was waiting for the full growth, and also to training her to find food from the nature, so that she can survive in the. I don't want to keep in the house. So slowly, I was finding a group of a sparrow where I can introduce the bird, and near Jamamos there is a bush. I found the sound of the sparrow. And then I introduced with this bird for a couple of days. I was going to there for several days. And then slowly, the group of the sparrow accepted, because this is very important actually. If they're not accepted, then I have to bring back home again. Anyway, so she joined the big group of the sparrows. And since then, she was outside of my home. And it was a very great, beautiful story. And I don't have the digital copy, but I have the print out over there. You can have a look. A few photographs from that time. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite our MAMC student, Poonam Mandlecha, to please share her thoughts.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. जिस विधाता ने ये सृष्टि बनाई है, उस विधाता ने सबसे पहले धुन हमें इस नेचर से दी है. जब हम समंदर की आवाज़ सुनते हैं तो उसमें भी धुन है. जब हवाओं की सरसराहट सुनते हैं तो उसमें भी धुन है. और जब पंछियों की चहचहाहट सुनते हैं तो उसमें भी धुन है. तो ये धुन हमारे जीवन में सबसे पहले उस विधाता ने हमें दी है. और जो सेंसेस हमें दिए हैं एज अ ह्यूमन, और हम सभी ब्लेस्ड है कि जिस मीडिया फील्ड में, जिस फील्ड को हमने चूज़ किया है, तो वो जिम्मेदारी समाज की हम पर है कि हम समाज में वो ह्यूमैनिटी पैदा करने की पावर हम में है. जस्ट हाउ वी यूज़ आवर पावर, इट मैटर्स. सो ये जो विधाता ने सृष्टि बनाई है और जो हमें ये गॉड गिफ्ट मिला है भगवान से कि हम हर चीज़ महसूस कर सकते हैं. और आज ये जो स्पैरो डे यहाँ पर हमारे डिपार्टमेंट में आयोजित किया है, इससे यहाँ बैठे बैठे सुनते सुनते बहुत सारे इमोशंस अंदर जाग रहे थे कि हम रोज़ की लाइफ जीते हैं, मोबाइल देख लिया, यूट्यूब देख लिया, इंस्टा देख लिया, एंड वी आर हैप्पी टू सी आवर स्टोरीज एंड लाइक्स, बट हाउ वी शुड बी अवेयर अबाउट आवर सराउंडिंग्स एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, ये बहुत सीखने को मिला। और जहाँ हमें पता होता है हम भूल जाते हैं, पर हमें वो जागरूकता सुनकर देखकर वापस पैदा होती है। तो इसके लिए मैं आज हमारे डिपार्टमेंट का धन्यवाद कहना चाहूँगी, दैट आई एम ब्लेस्ड दैट आई वॉज प्रेजेंट एंड आई वॉज हियर टू हियर एवरीथिंग एंड आई कुड सी एवरीथिंग। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you, Poonam. When students appreciate the efforts, then definitely it encourages us to do even more better events. Now, I would like to request HOD, Head of the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Dr. Keshav Sathe sir, to please enlighten the students.
Good afternoon. Today's program is something different than our regular program. Because our regular programs are somebody is coming here, speaking with you. It most of the time it's a one way, isn't it? But today's program is a multi-way. And that is the communication we are learning in our department. So I'm very glad that many students from different departments also participated in our celebrating of Sparrow Day. I think our Department of Journalism, Mass Communication entries are, I have not seen any entry. Why, I don't know. You are the people who could be in a position to give more and more creative genre on this issue, but I expect next time you come out with such type of entries. I think many of you, even Katkar sir has given a beautiful speech, a very concise speech about how sparrow to be preserved and what are the threats. And most of the entries illustrates the importance of sparrow. I would like to stress one point here for a student of mass communication, that why we celebrated such day, not just for sparrow. Yes, sparrow is our friend and we want to preserve. But I want you to be very sensitive about each and every issue of our surrounding. When you go in the field, as a journalist, as a communicator, as a professional of mass communication, you should be in a position to understand the vibes. You should be understand the emotions of the people, and that you can bring in your artwork, in your films, in your song, in your illustration, in your artwork. So this is one of the attempts from the department to sensitize and tell you about the different things, because it is very natural that whatever happening around us, so many things happening around us, but we hardly react. We are very busy on our mobile, we are busy on our social network, but we hardly think about the people, we hardly think about the animals around us. I think this could help you to regenerate the thought in your mind. While coming here, I saw one news that I would like to share, that a Spanish sparrow migrated to Kazakhstan in 100 days. Just, and Bombay, they have deputed some people, and so sparrow can go to Kazakhstan, sparrow can go to Russia. I think we want to keep our sparrow in our country. Because she should be preserved, she should be given good food, she should be given shelter, she should be given love. I don't want to take much of your time, but before I conclude, I would like to tell a story in the life of Lokmanya Tilak. He used to love sparrow. He was in Mandale jail. He was imprisoned in Mandale jail. But in his cell, many sparrows used to come. He used to feed them food. They used to come sit on their shoulder, on his hand. And one day jailer came to him, and how it has happened? It said that if you give love, they come. But if you threat them, they won't come. On the last day when he was leaving Mandale, then Sparrow came. And very sorrowfully he said that I'm leaving today, and don't just come inside, because everybody won't be that sensitive, that kind. They may behave with you differently. So even a Lokmanya Tilak has that thing in, and that we are celebrating. I'm very happy that we have association with Lokmanya Tilak's feeling, and that has brought in this hall. Thank you very much for every participant, for your endure, for your entries, and for your, I think this is the beginning of something. When you go beyond your syllabus, beyond your homework, I think that will give you a path to reach your destination. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for those enlightening words. Before we conclude, I would like to mention few names here who have taken out time from their schedules, from their academics, and done a wonderful job. If you can see on my right hand, there are model presentations by different artists and whom we call by different names, or whom we know by different names. So first is obviously our very own Mansi ma'am, Mansi Kanole. She has done a crochet work and she has created a sparrow out of that. Then we have Smita ma'am, Smita Dhabadgaonkar. She has created 2 different sparrows from different materials. Then we have Yashwag, whose wonderful photograph is kept over there to see. Then we have Biplab sir's write-ups and some of the photographs. You can see it there. Before concluding, I would like to extend my gratitude to all, and definitely, last but not the least, one of the wonderful presentation I really saw is by Swati Poddar ma'am from Sanskrit department. She has actually presented a model based on how all the concrete buildings, they are replacing the natural habitat of sparrows. She has created an entire model from that. Thank you once again, all the talented artists, writers, poets, and all the people who have contributed immensely for this event to make it successful, and especially all the students for attending this event with good majority. I would like to mention few names before concluding. Starting with Dr. Gitali Tilak ma'am for constant guidance, and our own department head, Mr. Dr. Keshav Sathe sir, for continuously guiding us throughout this entire event. Mr. Alok Katkar for coordinating this event wonderfully. Also Shashwati ma'am, Mansi ma'am, Smita ma'am, and all the technical staff, Kimaya ma'am, for continuously helping us throughout this event. And I will apologize if I have not taken any name, but last but not the least, all the students once again for attending this event. Thank you. This is Anuja Palkar signing off. Thank you.